Just the difference between sport karate and self-defense karate, right? Or any martial arts, sport versus self-defense. I need to close the distance at any movement that I see. It doesn't have to be his attack, my attack, and a step or anything. If I'm in range, I'm going to crash in, protect my face, get my antennas or my feelers on him so that I can make a takedown or make a movement or throw a strike. So martial arts, mixed martial arts, fighting, a lot of it is about exchanges, right? So we're here, he goes his 1-2s, I back out, do my combo, he backs out. And now if you think about that, the more exchanges that we have, the more opportunities for him to best me or take me over, right, or catch me, right? So, and vice versa. So if you're thinking about he's going to be stronger, faster, more adept at kickboxing, eventually your shield's going to break down, something's going to go through. So I'm keeping an arm and a half length away, no matter what. Now, I can initiate the distance closing, or he initiates it, but I'm just making sure that I am safe at all times, and then when I do decide the distance is going to be closed, I'm going to be safe in that situation as well. So we're just messing around here. I'm just moving around, I'm staying safe, and that was a chance here for me to go in. You kind of overcommitted on that kick, and I'm going to crash in no matter what, right? And you can crash in one of two ways. You're crashing in trying to grab onto something, or you're crashing in with your shield up, and that causes damage, right? Realistically, you want to crash in and protect your face. So if by default you do hit something on the way through, that's great, but that's not your primary purpose, because if he throws a punch and I try to crash in by doing that, that leaves myself exposed. I'm not really thinking of his arms and his legs as striking me. I'm thinking his body, his center of gravity versus my center of gravity. I gotta make sure I stay protected as I take over his center of gravity. So I'm here, arms length away. Let's throw hands for a little bit. So right there, he threw a jab, I indexed, or I made contact with here, and I knew that if I make contact with this one, I know this one's available, but this one's now is taken away, right? This tool is taken away. Right when that happened, I leaned in and I covered my head because I know this thing might come in, and I made sure I tried to make contact with my forearm across the neck here, because that gives me some sensitivity, because if it does throw here, I can turn out. And we have all those complexes and combinations off of that. Let's do another one. He threw a kick. I cut it out of the way. I kind of tried to go to an angle here. And then instead of me doing this, which a lot of martial artists do, they go back up and come in. I just stayed where I was because he closed the distance for me, and I just passed it off to the side. And I was able to close the distance on him. So essentially, I stood my ground, and he closed the distance for me. Most people though, let's throw that kick and throw combination over the top. There, right? So there, I wasn't thinking about blocking whatever hand that was there. I was thinking about protecting my head. So it's a change in mentality, right? If instead I went here and was doing this, and let's say the next one comes in, it's over. But instead I went trap here, protect my head no matter what, and whatever comes through it, at least it's protected by this shield, right? So those are some concepts you always have to think about, and the difference between sport and self-defense and an altercation. You cannot give them more exchanges. So I wanted to do some commentary on some sparring exchanges. So in this situation here, I'm trying to maintain that middle range, which is exactly what I said not to do, but you can see what kind of happens from here. He gets some exchanges, some exchanges happen, we go back and forth, I move around. That's my cousin there, his name is Alex, so Alex is throwing punches here, I'm just kind of deflecting them away from my head. But notice how it really depends on my blocking ability and my ability to see the hands coming in. In that situation there, I went low and I was able to close the distance as he was blocking. He did a good job here trying to maintain his base, and then I was trying to pull his posture down and rotate him to the mat. So again, here I'm maintaining a distance and trying to play in this middle range just for the sake of the drill. He threw a kick there, and I kind of stood my ground and I grabbed it. Again, playing in that middle range. For just fun sparring, kicking low to the shin like that kind of gets their mind occupied. Notice how most of the takedowns here kind of are initiated off of pulling the posture down. Pull their head down and force them to
try to posture up, and then from there you can continue with that forward force and just spiral them to the ground. There again, I kicked low, got him thinking low, and then I attacked high there. And right there, I pulled his posture down, then put my arm over his head, and now his posture is compromised, and I can do whatever I want to his base. All right, so now we're talking about kata-based sparring. So this is usually when I get low like that with my shield up, then it's kind of like serious time. So so anytime he attacks and I feel like I'm in range, I'm going to dash in and close the distance. So again, I reset back here and I'm back into this kata-based sparring for self-defense. And I'm just waiting. I know my range, I know his range, and I'm just waiting for the perfect opportunity to close. And there it is, close. So now I'm back to sport style sparring, just trying to flex. You can see how as I move away and he just keeps throwing jabs, I'm eating jabs to the face here. So, and from here I catch it and I close the distance. So another example of just the idea that once you close the distance, only good things can really happen. As you move away, he has more opportunities to exchange. Right there, if you rewind, I actually stood my ground and I let him close the distance on me. Same with this here, I'm standing my ground. Right there, I dashed forward, closed the distance. I wasn't able to control his head since my head was below his, so I just wrapped around his waist and pushed him over. Again, that's another kick low and then attack high. Here I noticed he's trying to go in for a sweep, so I kind of again stood my ground and took the base out on that one. So now I'm initiating the distance closing. Before, in the previous parts of this video, I was receiving. Notice how there's always forward pressure after I decide to initiate. So I'm not giving up grounds. If I feel like I'm giving up ground, I'm going to twist him to the opposite direction. So I'm kind of rotating him into the mat there. There again, I stood my ground. Now I'm grabbing his head, controlling posture. I wanted to keep this example in here because I'm actually going to maintain distance in the clinch range, and I'm going to eat some shots here. See how I'm getting hit in the head here, maintaining I was not close enough. Now for this exchange here, I'm actually going to stay close, and I'm controlling his posture the entire time. Takes down there. And this next exchange here is it should be a contrast. So I close the distance, or he closes the distance, and even when I lose distance here, I'm still forward driving. Right here, that was a failed opportunity. I'm still driving forward, pulling his posture down, getting heavy on top of him, and I'm able to spiral him to the mat.